Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Go. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could take.
Hello, beauties. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. I'm actually going to keep this short and sweet because my computer, excuse me, is a little bit unstable right now. I'm going in and taking it to get fixed tomorrow. So hopefully everything will be okay by then. It just keeps blanking out. Long story, but I've had this computer for I don't know, almost 2 years. So never had any problems with it. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult to get fixed, and it's not going to take that long. So they say, excuse me, it's the Geek Squad or whatever with Best Buy. But anyway, unfortunately, it's a Mac. Phoenix, it's a Mac. We have a brand new computer that my son was gaming on. It's the first computer that I bought that my son was gaming on, and all of a sudden, I guess because it's not a gaming computer, it hasn't worked. We have to get that one fixed too. So I just don't want to be on here and then it just kind of blanks out on you guys. So I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Be careful. Be careful for what, Phoenix? Are you familiar with Macs? Mac computers? I love my Mac. I think it's amazing. I just, never had any trouble with it. So it's good to see all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. This is not going to be the last time I'm talking about this. Just to let you guys know, I'm keeping it short and sweet today, but we are going to continue talking about this particular subject because I think it's important. Because we all know what's going on right now. And I want to start off by saying this. Okay. First off, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Aesop. Hey, Al Capone's #1. Maul, aka Liz. Hey, Ann. Hey, Erie. Hey, Phoenix. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Nikki Rainbow. Hey, Rebel. Monroe, it's good to see you. Melody, hi. Hello, all you amazing people. Thank you so much for being here. Hi, Bree Mama of 3. Okay, so first off, I want to start off by saying this. Every single influencer, and if any influencer says that they didn't or weren't a part of critiquing videos from the past that was done by Dre McCrae and the things that we all seen. Hey, Queen Mike, how are you? Hey, Gumby. That we all seen, we all critiqued it, we all had our own personal feelings about these videos, right? If any influencer says that they didn't, that's a lie. That's a lie. Every influencer, all you have to do is go back. Sometimes people have a hard time with going back. We're going to be taking it back with a lot of things because I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of it now. People are so freaking lazy. All you have to do is do your due diligence. Go back. I myself am going to tell you right now, I had my opinions, and it's because I was a supporter of Dre McCrae. I got into makeup because of her. And even though I had my opinions about this, I never took away from the fact that she inspired me to want to become a makeup artist, you know what I'm saying? And to want to turn this into a potential career. She taught me how to slay a wing. She's amazing at makeup. I'm not that type of person just because I may not like some of the things that somebody does. Hey, Commander, doesn't mean that I can't look at things for what they are. And Dre is an amazing makeup artist. But when we all seen the videos, because Dre McCrae was very, very public with her life, when we seen the videos, we all started speculating. We all did. And not even necessarily speculating, but we all were looking at things sideways. We were all looking at things like, wow. I tried to remain critical when I would critique videos, but we all can say as creators, whoever went back and seen all the videos, there were groups that posted all of the videos before Dre had removed a lot of the videos. We all critiqued. And I'm going to be honest and say that that's what you do as a creator. That's why it turns into content. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but never once did I ever say that that woman was, how do I put this? I would never say that she murdered him. Never. There were some people who did, and we know those 2 people. Without a crystal ball. And who else? I wonder who it could be. Megamouth. Those were the only 2 people that continued with their fabrication, flip-flopping, all of that kind of stuff. Those were the only 2 people. I never once said that. Do I think that, in my opinion, with a lot of the videos that we watched, and these are things that we just saw standing on the outside. We don't know what happens behind closed doors, and there were, oh my gosh, it just became a madhouse. And what I will say is, and the only reason why I'm saying this, and I said this months ago, when everything kind of died down a little bit and people stopped talking about it as much. I said this months ago. I will always take accountability for the fact that when you are someone who is a public figure and you put yourself out there like that, and you put your life out there like that, it's open for people to critique it. It's open for people to speculate. It's open for people to give their opinions, even if you don't want to hear it. But with all of the creators, compiling on Dre. I always took accountability for the fact that I still felt bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't imagine being in her shoes, okay, and having to have all of these things thrown at me at once, okay? But that still didn't take away from the fact that there were, all of these videos. We all seen the videos, and then, the things that were said about Miss Letitia. There were just the manipulation. There's a lot of things, and I'm not going to go back with that. But now it is, to me, I don't feel that people should be talking about this anymore. Okay. I feel like at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody has any updates about anything, right? So why continue to talk about it and speculate, right? If none of us know what's going on, especially if you don't personally talk to Dre McCrae, because she's the only person that will know what's going on, unless you personally talk to her. Nobody should be giving updates or talking about things or continuing to speculate. It's absolutely ridiculous at this point. So, from what I hear, and I'm going to pull something up in a second, but from what I hear, I heard that the police footage was out there. Somebody played, you guys can correct me if I'm getting it wrong, but somebody played what happened when the police came to the house, right? What's the point of that? I'm sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat this anymore. What is the point of playing police footage of them being there? All that's doing is starting this shit all over again. And for what? And for what? It's content. It's content. Okay? And it's exploitation at this point. And you can guess who applied to get. Oh, of course. Of course. Of course. Well, no, I didn't know that it was her, but of course I knew that it would have had something to do with them. I never thought or believed that for a second my mental health can get weary, and especially vets suffer. Unfortunately, I'm a military brat and seen these tragedies happen since I was a wee bit old. Yeah, they dissected it and it was gross. And it is gross. How much longer? And if you never believed that this woman is a fucking tragedy pimp, then you should know now. How much is it going to take for you people to understand that this woman is a fucking tragedy pimp? I'm not supposed to be cussing. I've seen the YouTube terms of service. I'm trying not to. How much longer is it going to take for people to understand you have no content, Molly? No content. So all you're doing, Molly and Justin, you have no content, so you keep dragging this out without a care in the world. This is over. Okay? It's over. Dre has nothing to do with this. She never did. If anything, she might have contributed to the fact that, they had a toxic relationship. Yeah, okay. But how much, to the point where nobody wants anything to do with you. Nobody wants anything to do with that woman because everybody knows. Exactly, Mama Rose. She was cleared. Everybody knows that you have no content. None. And no family wants to fuck with you at this point. So you just keep dragging this out and dragging it out and dragging it out without a care in the world for even Miss Letitia and her family. Now, I don't know. It's just the exploitation is just ridiculous at this point. It is. Critiquing the shed, how cleanly it's not. Still saying there's dust on the chair, so Dre couldn't have gotten, like, you're trying to ruin someone's life. That's what you're trying to do. We all, as creators, critique the videos that were out, but once the information was no longer being divulged, we all stopped. We all stopped. And the only one who kept going on and on and on with it is those tragedy pimps that capitalize off of every freaking tragedy and off of people's pain. And anybody who condones this bullshit and stands next to this bullshit, you are fucking disgusting. Okay? She's not guilty. She has nothing to do with this at this point. Yes, they had a toxic relationship. Yes, they argued. Yes, there's things that went on in their relationship. Yeah, there may be some things that, well, there were some things that I feel that she could have done differently. There's probably things that he could have done differently. And it's an unfortunate tragedy. But now she's been cleared. So why do you keep, I seriously hope that she sues the fuck out of them. I really do. I really do. Because at this point, this isn't about my dislike for any of those tragedy pins. This isn't about my dislike for Megamouth. It's not about my dislike for Justin. It's not about my dislike for Goose or any of them. It's about doing what's right. If she's been cleared, why do you still keep speculating and making accusations? Because at this point, it's becoming slander. Do you think that somehow or some way you're going to convince the police that she had something to do with this? Like, okay, I'm going to show you guys something. One second here. That damn backdrop. I can never get it right. We all critique the whole entire situation. And like I said, in a lot of ways, I do. I feel bad that, you know, me as a creator, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the Dre McCrae story, you know, the Marvon McCray story. And even though a lot of my opinions still stand, there's a lot of things, your opinion can change. Your opinion's allowed to change. And my opinion has changed in a lot of ways too, because I don't think that it's fair to continue to keep dragging a woman, because there's only so much that people can take. And I don't, and never felt as though she was physically responsible for this. Yeah, there might have been that question in the back of your mind, like, you know, even if you say it out loud, or it's a scenario that you throw out there behind the scenes, like with friends or something like that. But to actually sit there and accuse this woman and looking for all of these clues, this is just a way for them to make this whole story become more relevant like it once was. Because let's be real here, we all know she made a lot of money. She admitted it, that she made a lot of money off of talking about this. She made a lot of money off of using this entire situation and using this entire family, using Marvon's name, okay, while he's fighting for his life. We all know that these are the things that she's done. But at what point you're trying to like make this whole story relevant again so you can continue to exploit this story for money? Because you can't exploit anything else. It's almost, seriously, to me, it's almost as if it's become an obsession, because nobody else is going to mess with you. Okay. I think there have been so many creators that have brought awareness about this, about Megamouth, to a point where nobody wants to mess with her anymore. So you want to keep talking about the same case over and over and over again, because that's your cash cow right now. It also is nobody's business. It was different when they framed the situation how they did at the very beginning, but they've been exploiting this so long, it's hell for them. Exactly. At what point do you stop? It became a time where we all talked about it, we all critiqued, right? And then it stopped. Nobody talked about it no more because there was nothing to talk about. There were no updates, and there still isn't. But yet you have all the tragedy pimps making up all of these things allegedly to continue to keep this going, and there's nothing there. And now you continue to exploit the entire situation, including Dre McCrae. And she has been cleared. Molly said that Marvon's name is ruined, so it won't make money. It's worthless. That shows me it never was about a Marine's life at all. No. And how are you going to sit there and say that his name is ruined? If his name is ruined, it's because of you. It's because you ruined it. Okay? Because you were aligned with the, that's the only part that ruined things for that family. It's the day that they got involved with her. That's when the shit got ruined. This says Mrs. Always Right. So I'll send you one, Gumby, okay? The new thing to talk about is the fact that Dre is cleared of any wrongdoing, but she didn't talk about that part. Of course not. She's not. That doesn't perpetuate her agenda or her narrative. She has no other content. I agree. So I'm going to pull this up, and this is somebody talking about. This is the Chisme Report. I watch him a lot because he keeps up on all the influencers, especially the Facebook influencers. He's a great channel. Make sure that you subscribe to him. I'm so far behind you guys, but you guys know have what's been going on. But I will put his channel in my description as usual. But I want you guys to see what he said. Okay. And thank you guys all for being here.
Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Let me actually fix this camera angle. I don't know. Okay. It might be better now. Let me check. Sorry. So sorry. But welcome guys. Welcome back to the Chisme Report. Today we have a major update with this whole Dre McCrae and Marvon McCray situation story. But first things first, before always we want people to get in here, I got to share this. I got to share this live to my main page because not a lot of people are on here. Not a lot of people follow me on this new page. So let me go ahead and share this on the Chisme Report page. That way everyone could come over. But shout out to everyone that made it into this video, into this chat. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. So I was wondering if you saw this body cam, Molly. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're just going to wait for a few more people to hop on. But yes, there's updates with this whole Dre McCrae and Marvon story. Not it's actually a big update just because I have not given you guys update, guys. Hold on. We're still waiting for a few people to hop on.
1, 2, and 3. Cool sculpting is life-changing. I got cool sculpting mainly because my chin area has always been a source of insecurity between neck exercises and just trying to cover it up with makeup.
I believe it's a huge update in this story because a lot of people. So I don't know when this story happened. I don't know where you guys were at or whatever, but you know, a lot of people had mixed feelings of this story. Mostly people were blaming Dre McCrae on the situation, that she had something to do with this. She did this to him and stuff like that. YouTubers went with it. And I'm not even gonna lie and say here, I did not go with it because I'm a Chisme channel. So I talk about what the Chisme is going around the community, especially since McCray, Dre McCrae was on Facebook or is on Facebook. Not too sure if she still is, but I talked about it, and I do want to apologize because I did go with what everyone was saying. There's creators like Molly Golightly, Justin. I don't know. My friend calls him the orange dude. I don't know his name. I think it's Justin, the one that Molly always goes live with. Him, and then there's another girl that there's a lot of people that had this theory going on that Andrea had something to do with it. But it turns out the police cleared her name. She has nothing to do with this. Someone asked, is Vaughn alive or on life support? I don't know. I want to say he is on life support, but I honestly don't know, right? I don't want to give you guys false information because, to be honest, no one knows. A few months ago, it did come out that he passed away, but it was all a hoax. We went through that. But anyways, the police department actually came out with a report. And this report actually, I believe, it was out in November of 2022. Yes, the orange dude. I don't know his name. So this report came out, and it basically cleared Andrea McCrae's name. So it reads, on 11/16/2022, I received Marvon McCray's medical records from Special Agent Matthew Braz or Braz with the Naval Criminal Investigative Service. The medical records show that Marvon McCray had been taking a number of prescribed medications for various medical conditions. Of those found in the report were blank medications dating back to 2016 and continuing to 2022. He also had been prescribed blank for blank, which was discontinued in 2019. So I believe the police department actually blocked out what he was prescribed, the medications. They did their own, blocking out here. So so this is what they did. The Yuma Police Department, sorry. I believe they didn't want to show us what he was prescribed. But anyways, it keeps going. The Yuma Police Department has determined there is insufficient evidence to show that Marvon McCray was prompted in his decision to harm himself or was assisted in his subsequent action of himself. It was suggested in the course of the investigation that Andrea McCray actively facilitated Marvon McCray in the process of the event. A review of the 911 recording placed by Andrea McCray on 5/23/22 provided no evidence that he was assisted in the act. The audio recording illustrated that Andrea McCray cut the rope that was applied to Marvon's neck and subsequently provided him CPR until the arrival of rescue personnel. It was also suggested that medications administered to Marvon McCray by Andrea McCray caused him to have blank. Review of Marvon McCray's medical records revealed that Marvon had been taking blank medication dating back to 2016 and was receiving ongoing professional medical care for the condition. So once again, they did not want to say what type of medication and stuff like that. And if you guys, this last paragraph, okay, let me just read this and then we'll talk about it. Reports of child neglect concerning that McCray children were investigated by DCS and Tucson Police Department. Investigative inquiries are initiated through the appointed department in accordance with agency policies. The Yuma Police Department has concluded the investigation into this matter. So the last paragraph, a lot of people, this was another narrative that people had. People were really, I guess, concerned about Andrea's kids, what she was feeding them, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of conspiracy theories on it, right? So yeah, they took it. They did this whole investigation. They said the kids are okay. They're good. And that's that. They cleared Andrea's name. But there's still some people out there, Molly Golightly, that don't believe this. She probably thinks this police report is fake. And guys, I'm not a big fan of Molly because apparently after this thing came out, right? Let me go to her page. After this came out, she put out a video. I don't know if she was saving it for something like this to happen, but let me go to her page.
And before Chisme does that, I also want to say another thing too. We all know that there are, if you haven't been paying attention, that there have been videos that Megamouth has now deleted from the past. Okay. She deleted videos from the past that she has done. We know how many videos that she's done. She's done so many videos about this story. Okay. And I guess she has privated a lot of them or deleted a lot of them. Why is it, do you think, that she would do something like that? Because she herself knows that she is a piece of crap. Okay. That's why she's deleted so many. One thing that I have always been 3 million views worth. Thank you, Gumby. You're a snake. You are a snake. Oh my God. Oh my God. And see, this has nothing to do with, and the one thing I have always been against is involving the children. when without a crystal ball. And it's funny how they can do all this stuff and then just slide away, slither away like the snakes that they are and get away with this shit. Okay. But yet, I'm telling you, I seriously hope that Dre McCrae does something about this. I really, really do. When is enough enough? When does it stop? How much longer is this woman and all the rest of them tragedy pimps going to continue to get away with exploiting families? How much longer? Somewhere along the line, karma will bite you in the ass. And your karma is coming. All of you. Megamouth, Justin, Bullhorn. I don't give a fuck what you guys do. Ain't nobody gonna silence me. Period.
She put out a police cam video. Hold on. And apparently it debunks this whole report. I don't know what's going on with her. Do I not see it anymore? Did she delete it? Hold up. Guys, please let me know if she deleted the report. Because I'm not seeing it. Wait, did she delete it, bro? Okay, if you guys go to never mind, don't leave this. I need you guys here. Sorry, but anyway, she put out like a body, the police, the footage that they took of Andrea. I don't know if I don't see it, y'all. I do not see it. Oh wait, never mind. I see it right here. Sorry. Hold on, let's.
I noticed that my hair wasn't growing at all. I recently suffered from postpartum hair loss.
I suffered from hair loss.
Let's see this. Okay. So this is what she put out, right? Yeah.
She tried that.
All right.
Dre McCrae had a lot of pictures.
All right. So I have not seen this video. I want to see what's going on, what she said about this. Because, yeah, if she debunks this report, it's going to be insane, bro. Why
Now
are
we
people
got
like this?
500 people. Okay.
Okay, let's see this. Let's just watch this for a little bit.
I was in a rush to come home. I got to speak to a young lady who I've known for quite some time. And she told me that she had put in a request. I knew she put in that request. And sure enough, they got back to her. So we'll go over to my Facebook. And we're going to look at just a couple of little pictures.
Okay, sorry. I got to pause this because people are saying, commenting, is Molly still trying to blame Dre? I don't know. It does seem like it, guys. In the beginning, she and her little panel were going in like super hard on Andrea. And I do have I have to give a shout out to my friend Down the Rabbit Hole News because she put things in perspective for me. Like I said, we were when this whole started, I was like, yo, I was believing these rumors, right? What people were saying. And my friend was like, no, Danny, you can't be like this. You got to look at both sides. And you can't blame someone without, you know, being like without the police having evidence that it was actually them. So shout out to my friend for actually telling my dumbass what's right from wrong, you know. So I do want to give a shout out to her. But yeah, let's continue with this because it's probably interesting.
From oh, that's nice. Very nice. Okay. Enough of that. Did they load? Did I even put them on my Facebook? Okay, let's put them on my Facebook. This way they can come right up.
I'm mad. She has a
One,
tip jar.
She
Literally.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So these are pictures that are taken outside of the McCray house. So if you're new, and I know I got a lot of new subs, and I want to say thank you for subscribing and spending your time here with me.
She always seems like she's drunk, bro. Like, why do you talk this slow?
The Marvon McCray case was very compelling for a lot of us. If you don't know, Dre McCrae was a young lady who had a lot of followers because she did makeup, and she had an MLM thing where she would sell some crappy jewelry, and she was at the top of her game. She used to do her makeup very well, and one of the most endearing qualities that she had was she was very funny. She was captivating at one time. She was...
You know, I think it's really cute how you're trying to sit here and play like you didn't talk so badly about Dre McCrae's makeup. It's one of the things that I even corrected you on when I was on panel with your slimy, slithering snake ass a long time ago, where you were talking about her makeup, saying she does her makeup like a drag queen, blah, 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 only because you say that about everyone because you don't know how to do makeup. So don't backtrack on it now. Keep the same energy. Why are you trying to switch up now to your so-called new subscribers?
A very interesting, funny young girl who drew in a pretty big audience. And
yep, she drew in a big audience from her talent, something that you could never do. The only way that you can draw in a big audience is by exploiting victims and victims' families. That's the only way. Okay, that's the only way that you can draw in a big audience. That's why you continue to keep talking about this and continue to keep slandering this woman, because it's the only way that you can bring in a big audience. Let's be real here. You never had it so big when you started talking about this case.
When she had her channel, she was mainly on Facebook.
Yes, Molly's
not
a big
YouTube,
liar,
she's not a
guys.
YouTuber. But she would have these lives where she would showcase her life and her children. They were simple people, and she married a.
Anyways, I'm not gonna watch this. She's taking forever to get to the point, but let's see what she narrates or how she narrates this police cam, if she does.
Thank you for becoming a member, Love Lakers. We're going to show you
Justin, shut
some
up.
body cam footage
Okay.
in order of how I got it. So we're going to share it. The girl that sent it to me does not want credit.
What the heck is this? Oh, the body. Sorry. I'm like, why is it so loud?
Justin, do you want to come up? There's the link, Justin, if you want to come up.
Come here, little puppy. Come on my show, puppy.
There you go.
Bro, I can't stand them both. I'm sorry, but I can't.
Continue to watch. Okay. This is it. It's still loading, so that's probably.
Just download.
It's a one-stop shop. The BlendJet 2 portable blender is the perfect gift for everyone.
What did you?
I could download it, but I could still view it. This is the McCray house that they're walking up to right now. This is the first video.
Once again, why is she showing this video?
Where are the children?
Mom, come to you and now! Exclamation mark. My babies are inside.
They're inside. What do we go around, get these guys willing to work?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm not watching this. This is ridiculous. Why is she playing this? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not going to watch this part. If you want to watch it, go watch it somewhere else. This is ridiculous.
Said. So that's that. That's a update I have for you guys with the whole Marvon situation. I love you, Danny, but I think you should have a limit. If they want to see it, they can go look it up. Keep your integrity strong. Yes, I do. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, that's that with the whole McCray situation. Another thing I want to get into is my boy Ryan. Listen, Brian, I shouted you out. You gave me the chain, but you went okay. When was it? Monday, Sunday? I don't know. This guy went live, and it was for like 5 hours. He had a 5-hour live, bro. A 5-hour live. And in this panel, in this live, he had a lady that I talked about here on the platform. And let's just see what happened. Let's just see what happened, because Ryan defended me and he had some thoughts about the Chisme Report. So let's see. What the heck happened? Sorry, y'all. It had to refresh. Hold on, let me. Let me see where the timestamp is again. Oh, okay, I think it's there. All right.
Period. Motherfucking period.
Somebody tag the Chisme Report. Fuck Danny.
First of all, hold on. What you mean fuck Danny?
I don't even know who he's talking about right now. I think this is something else, but I'm not going to watch that because to me, I don't see the point in it. And it's one of the reasons I think that a lot of people are outraged because at what point is enough enough? At what point do you stop? And just like people are saying in the comments, which I totally believe it, you know, she plays this and then she critiques the way that this woman acts. You know, how she shows no remorse. Well, the last time I checked, do you know her? Just because we've all watched videos and we've all critiqued the videos, just like Chisme Report said, we all had our opinion about this matter. It was a story that everyone is talking about, and we all criticized certain things that Dre did and the way that she handled certain situations. We all did. As a matter of fact, it had a lot of us outraged. But still, at the end of the day, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors, for one. And for two, which I've always said that, we still don't know what goes on behind closed doors. And for two, we don't know how she acts. Just because we can say that she's very charismatic, she's very magnetic, you know, Dre has always been that way. Even when I started watching her, she's very funny, she's talented, not just with makeup. She's talented with a lot of things. And, you know, cooking, she used to do cooking live streams. She has a way of capturing an audience. That's her talent. And I've always said, I don't want her to stop. Nobody wants her to stop entertaining her audience. It's obviously been so long. And I think part of the reason why she hasn't come back is because of Mega Mouth. Don't let this woman stop you from doing your thing. Don't let this woman stop your shine. You've been cleared. It's time to move on now. It just is. It's a very unfortunate tragedy, and my heart and prayers are with their family. It's always been with Dre and her children. It's over now. You don't know how this woman acts to be able to know if she was remorseful or not. You just don't. Let me see if he's talking anymore about this. I don't know what I think this is a live stream that he's talking about something completely different. Yeah, I think because he's talking about other things too besides that. So I will put his link in the description if you want to go watch that specific parts of Dre. That's up to you, but I can't watch that. I think it's disgusting that it was played in the first place. But like I said, these people will do anything for content at this point. Sorry about the typing. It's late. Not sure how long I'll be able to stay awake. So good to see you. It's good to see you too, Ginger. Thank you for being here. I've been watching her since Oceanside days, and sadly I'll never watch again, but not because of MGL. Exactly. Exactly. I think everybody forms their opinion about Dre because the thing is that even though we don't know what happens behind closed doors, there is a lot of situations because she was so very public with her life that there are things that we've seen that there's no way to get around it. It is what it is. We know what we've seen, and there are things that we don't agree with, but she has still been cleared. And to sit there and play such a vulnerable moment is disgusting to me. It is. It's disgusting. I feel like, how far are you going to go and constantly bashing this woman before enough is enough? Did you see the police report where she was cleared? I did not see the police report. No. But I knew she was cleared because I seen people talking about it. And I know Down the Rabbit Hole did, which I love her. She did a video too. And I was going to play a little bit of what she said because she puts things into perspective. We all had our opinions about this story. But then once we realized that Dre had nothing to do with it, and it just became an unfortunate tragedy, and it's so sad, but it's over now. And then you have somebody like Megamouth and Justice for all of them that are going to continue to perpetuate this narrative that Dre is just this horrible person and that she did have something to do with it. And they're going to keep doing it as long as people watch. And I think it's so funny how she's backtracking and acting all nice, like, you know, she does great makeup and blah, 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 blah. You are so full of shit. Okay. You said the most horrible things about this woman. You talked about her looks. You talked about her weight. You talked about her lifestyle. You talked about how she ate. You talked about every single thing about her. You literally dissected her life and still continue to do so. Dissected her life piece by piece and slandered her. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to pull up a little bit of this.
Man, right? So I have the what do you call it? The 911 recording here. Okay, we have the 911 recording here, right? She was trying to save her husband's life. She was fucking traumatized. Seeing her husband there, non-responsive, every other fucking word was, oh my God, oh my God, I am so tired. Because you know, when you're doing CPR on a person, okay, you're trying to revive him, he's not breathing. What do I do? What do I do? Dispatch answered 911. What is your emergency? My husband. She is heard telling the children to not come out, and a dog is heard barking. Andrea appears to be crying, hysterical, hyperventilating, speaking in a high-pitched tone, and difficult to understand. Dispatch asked Dre McCrae for her address. She was asked if she needed police or ambulance. Dre McCrae is yelling, oh my God, oh my God. And in the midst of this little paragraph right here, you could feel it. Because she doesn't know what she needs. Here she has her husband's not breathing. What is she going to need? Another dispatcher told Dre to listen and asked if she needed police or ambulance and asked what was happening. Dre responded she didn't know, and dispatched again asked if she needed police or ambulance. So she's here. I'm just imagining this shit, right? You got a dog, you got kids. You're telling your kids, get the hell, go. I don't know. He's not breathing. What am I going to do here? He's not breathing. On the phone, right? But the Molly, Justin, LB, all these people would have you believe that she set this man up, that she wanted the life insurance, that this needed. I can't. Dispatch asked what was happening. Dre McCrae responded he hung himself. Dispatch asked if she knew how long he had been hanging. Dre responded, and it says unintelligibly, 20 minutes. Dispatch asked for confirmation on her address. Dre provided her address. Dispatch asked if he was breathing. Dre responded, no. Dispatch asked how old he is. Dre responded, 29. Dre asked if she should cut him down. Dre asked if she should cut him down. Dispatch told her to cut him down if she could. She found her husband hanging, and she's on the phone and, like a good mom, thinking, my kids can't see this. Go. My kids can't see this. Dispatch advised she was getting help on the way. A pitch was similar to a rope with tension that is cut. A thud was heard. She was able to cut him. One of the things that I struggled with in this story was when the police report came out, where did this pocket knife come out? And when I actually took the time, as many of these creators could have, to go into that Slay with Dre and actually learn about Dre and her family and her supporters and her followers, get a sense of who these people were as a unit, I learned so much. I understood the Slay with Dre concept. I understood the pocket knife. I understood how readily they use pocket knives. I get it. I understood that even in their Facebook chats, they had knives. Okay. And I understood that this was a social media family, all of them together, because you had the Raza show. You had the kids had their own little segments in these lives. And Dre was very protected of her unit. She didn't allow any negativity. She said, no, this is my life. These are my kids. She was protective. And so when I hear this, that he was hanging and the kids were coming in, and she said, go, take the dog, go, whatever that was. That's a fucking protective mother. She protected those children. Shame on you for parent shaming. Shame on you for saying, well, damn. And this is coming from somebody that is in social work, that has worked, I don't know, over 10 years, okay, 10 years plus, and would understand what would constitute a CPS call. While you motherfuckers are out here just calling because you like to call. It's just like, whew. Dispatch asked her if she was able to get him on the floor. Dre said he fell on the floor after she had cut him. Dispatch said, he's not breathing, right? She responded, no. Dispatch asked, you think he's been hanging there for 20 minutes? She responded, oh my God. Dispatch asked for her name, and she did not respond. Dispatch said, listen, what is your name? Can you answer me? And she said, my name is Andrea. Dispatch said, okay, listen, I've got help on the way to you. And he's not breathing, right? Do you want to try doing CPR? She responded, okay, what do I do? What do I do? He's dead. Do you want to try doing CPR? She responded, okay, what do I do? He's dead. Dispatch said, if you want to try CPR, we can try it. I do have them on the way to help you, though, okay? Dre responded, okay. Dispatch said, if you want to try CPR, put me on the speakerphone and get him flat on his back, okay? Dre responded, he's flat. I'm giving him chest, right? Dispatch responded, yes. And then I need you to put your heel on your hand on the center of the chest, right between the nipples. Dre responded, okay. Dispatch said, put your hand on top of that. Push down as hard and fast, at least 2 inches in depth, okay? Allowing the chest to rise to be normal position between each pumps. I want you to count out loud with me, okay? Dre responded, okay. Dispatch said, all right, start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dre is heard counting along. She's heard counting along. Does that sound like someone that was plotting to hurt her husband, to murder him? If so, let me know in the chat. Dre said, I can't tell. Dispatch said, okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Are you in the house? 15, 16, 17? Dre responded, no. Dispatch asked her where they were at the property. Dre responded, in the backyard. He's in the shed. We're in the shed. Dispatch responded. In the shed in the backyard? Dispatch said. About 25 minutes ago? Now? Dre said, yes. Dispatch said, okay. Dispatch said, I have to talk on the radio, okay? If you want to keep trying to do compressions, keep doing that while I talk on the radio. Hold on. Dre is heard in the background talking and saying, oh my God. Oh my God. They're hearing her. How do you dispute this? Dispatch got back on the phone and said, okay, ma'am, you want to keep trying to do CPR? Dre said, I am. Dispatch said, okay, keep doing compressions, okay? Dre said, okay. Dispatch said, count out loud with me so I know that I know you're doing it okay. Dre said, it's taking a lot of energy, and Dispatch said, I know, you're doing a good job. Try to keep your arms locked when you're doing it, okay? Push with your body. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Dre said, oh my God. I don't blame you, Chronicles of a Shady. But this is what we had to read. So while that woman is over there deflecting, acting like she did something great here, she literally fucked up a family unit. She did. All 3 of them. All of them. They came out here and said that this woman killed her husband, that this woman did that this woman fed her husband all kinds of herbs and stuff like that. That's not what happened. And they never corrected the information, and they moved on, and they went back and forth. And anytime nonsense would bring up a video, immediately they were ready to discredit or try to say something or bring some misinformation. This isn't about the GoFundMe with Letitia. That's besides the point. The point of the matter is this, is that you guys accuse Dre McCrae of hurting her husband. And it did not happen, based on some edited videos that even law enforcement said these are edited videos. And based on our investigation, there is no wrongdoing. People are so bold enough to accuse people of shit here all the time. But they're never.
I'm all into this, you guys. Because she does. The one thing I love about Down the Rabbit Hole is she has a great way of putting things into perspective to get you to look at the real issue here. Okay. And here's what I'm going to say. Thank you, Jesus. That's what I'm going to say. And the reason why I'm going to say thank you, Jesus, is because at that time I was friends with someone who I thought was a friend, who I thought had my best interests at heart. And I actually was talking to her and wanting to get myself exposure with the hopes of aligning and somehow being up on that panel with those evil demons. And because of Mega Mouth's jealousy, she kicked me off that panel. And I am so fucking happy that she did. I cannot tell you how happy I am that she did. Now let me say this. Even if I was on her panel, in no way would I agree with the stuff that she was doing. So it wouldn't have lasted, right? I'm not grimy. I'm not evil. Okay. I'm not malicious. I'm not that type of person. Okay. So that wouldn't never went well with me. But what I will say is, if sitting up there on that panel with them, it still would have came back on me in some way, shape, or form. If I'm on panel with them while they're talking about this woman who ultimately murdered her husband or had something to do with it. And that's why I say God, or whoever it is that you choose to believe in, is always going to protect and look out for his children. That's how I look at it. It wasn't meant to be. It was not meant to be. And I'm happy that it didn't become of anything. I'm happy that I am a person who has integrity, morals, respect. Every single creator who has talked about this story gave their opinion. But the only creators that were accusing this woman and taking it to the next level, accusing this woman of ultimately taking out her husband, were all of them, the tragedy pimps. Molly, Justice for All, the people who work with Molly, and Without a Crystal Ball. She was the first to say it. Don't leave her out. She said it too. She was one of the first people to say it. Yes, she took it back. She changed up her whole tune when things weren't working to benefit her. But at the end of the day, she still said it. She still said it. Even though she took it back, she took ownership, but she still said it. All I'm saying is, yes, divine intervention. That's all that was. Because as a smaller creator, you want to get exposure, you guys. You do. You want to get exposure, especially from someone who's a bigger creator than yourself. But in the same sense, I'll do this all by myself before I ever align myself with someone like her. Now, you know that would have turned bad with the quickness, especially because all I did was talk about a report being real. Okay? And she had a problem with that. There's no way in hell that I could sit there while they're making all of these dangerous accusations, because seriously, at the end of the day, I never agreed with Children's Services ever being involved with this, ever. But you had people calling Children's Services, you have bigger creators being so irresponsible with their platforms, and all you had to do was talk about the story and give your opinion and keep it moving. But if you pay attention to Megamouth, okay, Molly, Justice for All, they keep grasping to this story, grasping at straws. They keep holding on to it. Why do you think that is? They went, where did they go? They went pick outside of someone else's house, picketing outside, okay? And then that turned into them going to Ms. Wynette's husband's house and interviewing him. They keep perpetuating, they keep going on and on with this story, and it's because they want to turn it into something. And you just don't understand that you are ultimately ruining someone's life. Now, with Dre being a bigger creator, okay, people are going to talk. People made groups about her, then put all their videos out there, and she started getting exposed, and we all were in shock. We all were like, I cannot believe this is happening, you know? And as a creator, we are creators. If you have a commentary channel, you're going to do content. That's just the way it is. And we all gave our opinions, we all critiqued, we were all outraged. But at the end of the day, once we realized there's nobody that knows anything that was going on except for Dre, and no new information was being put out there, it's time to move on. And the only people who have not moved on is them. And it's because they made so much money off of this case, this story. I'm sorry, because it's not even a case. They made so much money off of this story that they're going to keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it as long as they can squeeze as much money as they can. They have used and exploited not only Dre McCrae, Marvon McCray, their children, but they have also exploited and literally capitalized off of Ms. Letitia, Ms. Wynette, Mr. Wynette. It's everybody involved. That's when she said Marvon passed. Exactly. She's never stopped. She's never stopped. She keeps going on and on, like grasping to this story, because these are people who chose to work with her. She made so much money, you guys. And at this point, with all of these channels that bring awareness about this woman, I'm not saying that there's no family that may not ever want to work with her again, but I highly doubt it. And that karma, let me tell you about karma. It's always coming. You cannot escape karma. And put yourself in Dre's position. Now, as a content creator, when you put your life out there, I'm sorry, you have to understand that you are going to be critiqued. And not everybody's going to be happy with the things that they see, especially with how personal she was. However, you have to know when to stop. You have to know when to say enough is enough. You don't keep going on and on and on and falsely accusing this woman and then saying she has no remorse. You don't even know her. You don't know how this woman reacts when she's dealing with a tragedy. You don't. Nobody does. What goes around comes around. What goes up must come down. And it needs to come down fast. And this is how stupid Megamouth is. This is how stupid. Okay? You have no idea. Why did you go back and private those videos? Why? Do you seriously think that Dre, and hopefully her attorney hasn't been watching and recording every damn thing that you've done thus far. Do you not think that? Do you think that you can just private these videos and all of a sudden they just magically disappear? No. Nice try, though. I hope she did. I hope she recorded everything that this woman has done. Because enough is enough. And the way that she talked about this woman, the way that she bashed her looks, bashed everything about her. Imagine being talked about and your whole life being dissected in a huge time, in a very, very, very tragic time in your life where you lost your, well, you didn't lose your husband, but your husband is in a coma fighting for his life. And yet literally every day your life is being dissected by a person that doesn't even fucking know you. Dissected as far as being called a schmurder for insurance money. And they don't have this report that Rabbit read was 32 pages. Mega and Jaundice chose to show that footage and claim that the police screwed up. It was thoroughly investigated by many agencies, not just human police. Right. And here's the thing. They are not investigators. They're not investigators. They don't get to say when someone screwed up and when they haven't. This is just content for them, you guys. This is all it is. And it's at the expense of someone else. There is a difference between critiquing things that you see and keeping it moving versus borderline harassment, in my opinion. Allegedly, in my opinion. And that's what this has turned into, in my opinion.
Ever bold enough to apologize for the shit that they've done? Let me ask you guys a question. I have children. I know LB has several children. How the fuck would you like it if that shit happened to you, mother to mother? Let's just say that. How would you like it? How? I'm sure you guys would be suing. I'm doing this, my private personal life. I want to do this. Da, 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 da. I know a lot of people did a lot of videos, but have they seen this report? And it doesn't matter whether it's not just them. There's a lot of creators that did videos on this, but do they ever correct their information? No. Never. Here she is re-showing photos of the property when in this police report it said that they had to get extra patrol to help safeguard the home. She was being threatened. People were showing up to her house. But did they give a shit? Never. Never. They collected money though. Matter of fact, why don't I do this? Look, I got a little screenshot over here of something that I thought, I was like, this is interesting coming from the fact that CPS found no wrongdoing and that those children were very, very healthy. Let's see. You had so many videos, specifically from the orange man, okay, was criticizing and alleging that she was poisoning these kids with her dieting, with all these herbs. She was accusing them, right? I mean, every day it was a video, and it was all accusing her cooking styles. I think she even compared her to somebody that's actually facing trial over hurting her own children. There was a lot of that. A lot of that. Absolutely. Thank you, SW4x4. She says, her husband, 911 dispatcher. I'm a retired medic. CPR over the phone and on the scene is very hard. You cannot edit 911 tapes. Who is there and where? The same ones that were screaming, justice for Vaughn. I said, well, where's the crime? They had 3-4 different agencies on this report concluding that there was no wrongdoing, that this woman didn't try, nor did she lead her husband to commit suicide, that she did not starve her kids, that she didn't do shit. Why do we need to hashtag justice for Vaughn when we need a crime in order for there to be justice? What is the crime? Angelina, funny you say that. Somebody asked Miss Golightly, why are all your Dre McCrae videos privated? All of them, a good portion of them. She went on a Dre McCrae train. Every day was a video. Every day for like 3 or 4 months. Every day there was a video. She privated them all. She knew this report was out. She knew this report was out. She knew this report was out. She knew it. She knew it. She knew that this report said what it said, that it was not going to find anybody of any wrongdoing. She knew it. Let's not play stupid here. She knew it. I just I can't, yo, but that's your creator. That's y'all favorite creators. The subset of the drama community that she has created, like this story took so many legs. And honestly, a lot of us, including myself, were sitting back and said, I don't want to focus on anything but the facts. That's all we can do. It is so easy. It was so easy to get pulled into all this drama that was to a certain degree manufactured. A lot of this shit, because I don't have anything against half of these people that do the shit that they do here. I really don't. Some of this shit is manufactured. Some of this ish was manufactured. Waiting for a response. And I still don't give you one because you're a nobody to me. But anyways, I digress. Dispatcher said, is it just you and your husband at this house? Dre said, no, my children are inside. Dispatcher asked if her children were inside the house, and she said yes. Thank you, guys. And I definitely, thank you, Millie. I will definitely acknowledge super chats and stuff. I'm just so focused on reading this report because I want to get these facts to you guys out. You guys can FOIA the bullshit. I mean, not the bullshit, but the report. Go ahead and FOIA it. FOIA all you want, because I'm sure a lot of you guys will do it. I'm not changing anything in this report. The report is as is. Your leader is trash. Wow, all the time she was innocent, thank you. The way the internet came for her at her home. Yeah. Yes, she knows. She knows. This facade that she puts, I'm not worried about a lawsuit. I have nothing, no assets under my name. Listen. Isn't it funny that this right here, this report in itself is enough for her to take. We don't even know where she's at. And it's better that she doesn't say anything. I hope Dre doesn't say shit. I hope she keeps quiet and she moves it on. I hope that when this gets to the court system, that we're actually able to cover so that we can all learn from this situation. Dispatch asked if her children were inside the house. She said, yes. Dre said, oh my God. Oh my God. Dispatch said, it's okay. Just try to focus on what is happening right now, okay? You're doing a good job. After several seconds, dispatch asked Dre if she was still trying CPR. She responded, yes. Several seconds. She didn't stop doing, she was still working on her husband. Keep doing compressions. I know. Count loud with me. Ready? Let's start, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Dispatch asked, Are you willing to try to do breaths? Dre asks, what does that mean? Dre asks, should I let my dog inside? My dog is out here, and I think I should let my dogs inside the house. Dispatch said, do you think they're going to try to bite units when they get there? Dre said, yes, yes. Oh my God, I think he's gone. I'm just imagining as she's been working on her on this situation, having her kids go over there, right? And she's like, damn, like the dogs are outside, the units are gonna come in. What do I do here? What do I do here? Dre appears to be taking her dogs inside and is
Also, I want to say this too. Even though we, as all creators, Chisme Report, we all gave our opinions about this entire situation. I want to say something to the people who continue to do Mega Mouse dirty work for her. Please understand this. In the end, the only people who are going to suffer from this, if you think for 1 second that you are not going to suffer the consequences of doing something and doing the dirty shit that you continuously do for this woman, there's a reason why she has you do her dirty work. Okay? She has you do her dirty work because she knows that the fall goes on y'all. It goes on all of you that continue to dig up shit for her and dig up people's address for her and get police reports and all of these things for her. Now, police reports, yeah, that might be different as public record, but you continue to do the dirty stuff that she asks you to do because you want to belong, because you want to satisfy her, because you're so desperate to be accepted by her. It's going to blow up in your face. It is. And when it does, I'm going to tell you that the majority of people are going to laugh at you. They're not going to feel bad for you. Don't you think she's getting her karma with her mom? Her karma, to me, you know, nobody can predict anybody's karma, Pussycat, but I feel like her karma is, I don't think that that would be with her mom. Not in my opinion. I think her karma, the only thing in my opinion, this is just my opinion, not saying that Mega Mouth doesn't care about her mom, and I hope that her mom gets better, and I pray her mom gets better, but ultimately, what she cares about is money and being on the top. Thinking that she is the best creator and the creator that makes so much money and blah, 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 blah. And her karma would be when that's taken away, because her karma, to me, is the way that she has treated so many victims and victims' families and even creators here on YouTube. That's where her karma is going to hit her, in my opinion.
is heard saying, Jacob, come on, hold on. Her dogs, by the way, I think I could say the dog's name, but Jacob is a dog. She then heard saying the child's name. Please, are you okay? Did you hear what I said? Dispatch interjected. Are your children coming out with you? Blank is heard talking in the background. Dre is heard saying, please, stay with your siblings, okay? Please. Don't come outside. The ambulance is coming, okay? So her kids, we know that one, something was seen. Marvon was hanging. Kids go inside the house. Thank you. I'm like, don't get mad at me for saying the dogs' names. Thank you for saying that, Nanya. So you hear Dre saying, please, please stay with your siblings. Please, okay? Don't come outside. The ambulance is coming, okay? Dispatch said, okay, are the dogs put up? Dre says, yes. Dispatch said, what is your husband's name? Dre appears to be talking to her dogs and said, Jacob and Bernard, come. Bernard, come. Dispatch asked for her husband's name again. Dre again told Jacob and Bernard to come. Dispatch said, I'm sorry. Is that your husband's name or are you calling the dogs? Dre responds, my dogs. Oh my God. I feel like I'm going to pass out. Dispatch said, okay, take a breath. Just take a breath. Are you okay? Take a breath. Take a deep breath. What is your husband's name? Dre appeared to be distracted and she said, when the ambulance gets here, it's on the left side. Dispatch said, yes, we have the map for getting into your house. What is your husband's name? Dre said, Marvon. Dispatch asked for his last name and she responded, oh my God, McCray. Dispatch had her spell it. Dispatch asked if her last name was the same and she responded. Dispatch said, I see that your phone number is blank. Dre said yes. Dispatch said the ambulance should be pulling up right now, okay? Do you want them to go through the house to get to you or through from the side gate? McCray said, no, the side, the left side. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God. Dispatch said, okay, they should be getting all of their equipment, okay? They're coming out to you, okay? She responded, okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dispatch said, okay, try to focus on your breathing, okay? Take some slow breaths, okay? Let them know when you see them walking up to you, okay? Are you there? Are they there with you? Dre responded, no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dre is heard saying, hello? A voice is heard in the background. And Dre said, I'm over here. Dispatch said, okay, I'll go ahead and disconnect Andrea. Dre said, okay. And dispatch said, all right, goodbye. I want to hear somebody else in the chat say that this woman conspired to kill her husband, because it was that recording, that dispatch reporting that said, we don't have anything that says that she did this. We don't have anything that says that she did this. But meanwhile, you have people calling, sending them edited links from Facebook. Let's talk about the Whip It, okay? Remember that infamous Whip It video, right? Where she's seen what looked to be like huffing, and people were so concerned about that. She had an interview with the officer where she talked about that. She said, I was, I shouldn't have done it. I did it for shock value. That's what happened. Let's talk about that. A lot of the clips, and this is what I had to learn. And I said, damn, if all I had was clips and no context to anything, that's what it would be. I would have crucified her. I did. A lot of us did initially.
That's exactly what I think is important for people to know. Initially, we all saw these videos. There were groups on Facebook about this. We all seen the things that were done that still to this day I don't agree with. Okay, we all did. We all were in shock. We all were like, I cannot believe this. But not one creator ever accused this woman of murdering her husband. We all just had our own opinions about the things that led to that point. About the bit, the back and forth between, Dre and Miss Letitia and our opinions about that. We all did. But not one creator is still continuously making up lies, going and getting police footage, sitting there watching the police footage, critiquing that police footage, critiquing her and saying she didn't look remorseful. Now, from Rabbit reading this police report, and that's all I wanted you guys to hear is this police report. Does it sound like this woman wasn't remorseful? Does it not even remorseful, but does it sound like she wasn't scared, that she didn't know what the hell to do, that she was so traumatized by this? Because it certainly sounds that way to me. And then we have this tragedy pimp, these tragedy pimps that continuously exploit. You have Justice for All saying that they cleared her physically. What are you talking about? These people do not care about anything else but their own pockets. And they will throw anybody under the bus to fill their pockets. It is disgusting. It is disgusting.
We went by, and truly this Marvon McCray story was my introduction to true crime in the sector. And truly it was my introduction to understand the foolishness and how quick people are to believe and how quick people are to make up shit for clicks and views. Guys, that is the theme. This woman runs that league. If you believe that anything that comes out, because what she should be addressing at this point is the fact that she did not show this dispatch report. She did not show this fucking report that's been available to everybody since November. Why the fuck did you not? Why? She went on vacation, did her thing, started shit with people, starts drama. She's got her main channel, she's got her backup channel. You had the other guy that was doing the same shit, never addressing the facts that this report was released and it vindicated Dre. Why? She could have talked about it. She could have brought it up and said, guys, whether she believed Dre did something or not, she decided not to. She made a conscious choice not to. 3 months of Dre McCrae. You had 5 different agencies on this report. CPS, sergeants, lieutenants, investigators, different medical, a review of his medical records to determine if this woman was poisoning this man, and nothing. You had a CPS report. It's in here. It's in here. Definitely. Why don't we read it? And I want to protect the kids' privacy. Absolutely, right? But as somebody who has worked in CPS, I don't know, for so many years, I'm reading this. And I said, oh, okay. Like, thinking in my mind, what were some of the concerns? Right? The child services, the Department of Services for Children's Services, right? The CPS, DCF, whatever the hell the acronym is, because we have so many, reviewed it. The child was clean, appropriately dressed, face free of marks or bruises that would indicate abuse, and at a healthy weight. These kids are homeschooled. Every day they're homeschooled. There's religious studies in this family. there was a concern. Somebody had said, well, she treats the girls better than she does, the boy better than she does the girls, and we're so concerned, and she's going to abuse these kids. The CPS report the child is clean. All of them were giving checkups. All of them. They checked the home for food, for electricity, for water, for everything. They talked about how they have a vegan lifestyle. They're very proud of their vegan lifestyle. All of them. They interviewed the biological father of the girls. He didn't have any immediate concerns for the situation. He just wanted this shit to be addressed. They did not want to get involved in the social media stuff. They said that. They were very hesitant. Welfare checks. Let's see, what else? But you know what I find to be very interesting of this whole report? I only saw 3 phone calls with Vaugh's parents. Marvon Jackson Sr. and Letitia, right? 3 phone calls. That's it. That's all I saw. I didn't see anything. I didn't see like the officer, because there's a timeline in here. I didn't see that the officer documented calls every day, or that they were having calls and there were concerns. The officer told Mr. Marvon Jackson, please seek some legal advice if you're concerned about the situation. Please do so. Please do so. Right?
If you want to be healthier, you've got to get Kachava.
I started Kachava a month ago.
That's what he said. But I'm thinking in my mind, they're really worried about their son, but they're not even calling the detectives to find out what's up. There's not even an attorney phone call. No attorneys here. Because here I thought we were fundraising for an attorney. Because Marvon's family was going to take custody of the children, and they were going to take her to court and everything. There was never a phone call with any attorney in this police report. Never a phone call with any attorney. You would think that that would have been something that would have happened, right? I'm sitting here and reading these 34 pages, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. It must be on page 2. It must be on page 4. No. You mean to tell me that even the police didn't even know that there was an attorney involved in this situation? Of course, she's doing a live. She's doing it again live. Of course. You know what? I'm glad that Molly Golightly is doing what she's doing and retracing her steps, because she's redoing the same shit that she had done in the summer. Only the summer was a little bit more extensive. You know, that was the, summer. They made $18,000 one month off of whatever they did. I don't know. That's not even including Cash App, Super Chats. She talked about her check from YouTube. It was about $18,000, if I remember the amount correctly. I'm sure that live is on private. So go ahead and redo what you're doing, because that just aids to all of this. It aids to the lawsuit.
And trust and believe. If you think for 1 second you claiming how much money you made, Molly, if you think for 1 second that people don't have that on record, there are people who have been recording every single thing that you have been doing. Hey, Mama of 6, every single thing that you've been doing. So if you think that just because you privated these videos, that's how idiotic you are, because people have been watching what you've been doing. And the fact that you're bringing this up again, all you're doing is making the people, okay, who have been talking about where are the attorneys, where are the attorneys, where are the attorneys, that big question. Now they're just going to start talking about it again. Some people have never stopped talking about it, because people knew from the very beginning. I still stand with, I don't think that Miss Letitia knew who she was getting involved with. But in that same sense, I can't be the one to sit here and speak for Miss Letitia either. Because if she's still standing by you, I'm sorry, but standing by you is a bad choice on her part. If she still is, it's a bad choice.
relates to all of it. All. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Dre McCrae, shut up and say less and let your actions speak. Let your silence speak louder than your words. Let your silence speak louder than your words. No findings. No findings. No findings. Yes? Yeah. She went and she got some Dolce and Gabbana. Okay, she went and she did her thing, you know, because that is what you call making money off of somebody's tragedy. And she really did it. She really did it there. She went on different other creators' channels and spewed all this misinformation as well. But you know what she did not do when this report was released in November? She did not go up and talk about this report because she knew. She fucking knew. So what did she do? She went and she privated all these videos. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. Let me see what else we got on this report. Let's see. They spoke with the grandmother, maternal grandmother of the family. Okay, giving some insight into the situation a little bit more. They had to call police because they were also being threatened. Yeah, they were. They certainly were. Let's see what else. Here we go. On the 8th of July, 2022, I spoke with on telephone with Dre. She told me that she's a social media influencer with over 1.1 million followers online. Okay, we know. Okay. She said that recently her husband attempted suicide at her home in Yuma, Arizona. He was flown to Tucson, where she is currently staying as her husband remains in a coma. Dre said that on her social media platform, she did not mention any of the details concerning her husband until after she was in Tucson for 2 weeks. She said social media is her job. Whenever she goes live and posts videos, she makes income through the ads. She said that she waited as long as she could before saying anything. She waited as long as she could before she could tell people about what had happened with Marvon McCray. She did. She did. And I'm going to drop the link. Nanya, I don't know if you want to add more to this because I know I'm just going to let you, if there's anything. Yeah. Remember that? She compared her to Jodi Arias, which we know, those in the true crime community, Jodi Arias had been found guilty for the murder of Travis Scott, or it's not Travis Scott, Travis. Making comparisons. Absolutely. And it was a group. And luckily, these officers have names of the people that were making these reports because now Drake can go. Drake can do her thing. Hey, Nanya.
Hey, I'll try and
right?
I'll keep my cuss words to a
thank you, Travis
to
Alexander.
a minimum.
Girl, you can cuss away. This is a free. Do your thing, girl. Do your thing.
Okay, hang on. I gotta close the door then.
Like, I don't want nobody hearing me. I'm just amazed by this report and the fact that she's not even addressing this report thoroughly. Like, none of these creators are, but they're willing to go live on breaking news, but they're not willing to address the bullshit that they did this summer.
So let me tell you this. So a couple of different things. So my first thought, hold on, sorry. Okay, sorry. So I just can't. I think, again, like I wish people would just pause for a moment and put themselves, like, just have some empathy, right? even if you didn't like this person, you didn't agree with their religion, their lifestyle, the way they ate, the way they raised their children, right? Put all of those differences to the side, right? At the end of the day, this was a woman whose husband made a choice to end his mental exhaustion. And she had to find that. And while she was finding that and trying to save his life, she was trying to also protect her children from having that trauma of seeing anything. Then they go to the hospitals, okay? And all this is in the police report. It's already been talked about long ago. But then they go to the hospitals, okay, fine. Weeks later, she decides to bring it public. So she takes it out public. The only reason why this even started was two big reasons. The Facebook group started because people were so entitled that they felt like they needed to know what caused him to be put in the hospital. Nobody fucking was entitled to that information. That was his private information, and nobody deserved an answer to that.
That his wife was protecting.
That his wife was trying to protect. Then second, you have a family who is disconnected. They've got their own dysfunctions. They have their own abandonment and issues and all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, fine. They come to see him. Well, the dad came to see him, right? He's seen him. He got to spend days with him, right? Did she try and block him at the hospital? Yes, she did. That's on video. That's out there. That's the truth. But you know what else they've said? Is as soon as she left the hospital, she sent them a message apologizing for her behavior.
Yeah.
Apologizing that was her reaction and saying
we saw those
wrong.
Text messages.
She apologized. And what was their choice? Their choice was to not ever respond to her for 3 months and then cry and say, oh, she won't let us be a part of it. All the while, they collected dollar upon dollar upon dollar. Molly was aware. Justin was aware. LB was aware. Katie was aware that in Arizona, there is a law that says legally, nobody can stop you from visiting a person in a hospital.
Right.
Okay, hold on. I want to read this. Okay. Well, where the hell did it go? I really feel like police let Vaughn down and didn't fully investigate the situation, from Dre abusing Vaughn, not letting Vaughn visit with anyone, withholding money, putting stuff in Vaughn's feeding tube. Okay, so here's the thing, Nicole, products review. I understand what you're saying, and we have all talked about that. We have all critiqued everything about this case. Everybody has, from Chisme Report to Down the Rabbit Hole. We all had our suspicions about Dre as far as, with the way that Vaughn was treated. But ultimately, she has been cleared. Regardless of what it is that you think, she has been cleared. Yes, even though we have all been able, because Dre was so public and personal with her life, because of that, we have all been able to see things that we didn't feel were right. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that. But the point is that she's not responsible for ultimately what happened to him. Even if they were to investigate and say, well, there are things that you could have done differently, I think it's time for us all, no matter how suspicious we are of how Vaughn was treated, I think it's time for us to finally realize that nobody made Vaughn do this. Vaughn is an adult. He's a grown man, okay? And his decisions, okay, the decision that he made is it is so sad. It breaks my heart. Okay. But that can't all be faulted to Dre. And I think that's ultimately why she's been cleared. Even if they were to investigate and say, well, you could have done this differently, you could have done that differently. Well, guess what? There are things I could do differently. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But the point is no matter how much they investigate, ultimately, this was an unfortunate, tragic decision that Marvon made. And even though he may have been miserable, there are things that we've heard, video recordings. We know all of the things that's played out and that we've all seen and that we as creators have critiqued and had a problem with. But ultimately, we still have to face the reality of Marvon is a grown man. And if Dre has been cleared, it's time to move on. It's time to leave this family alone and let them focus on the things that they need to focus on. Okay? It's time for social media is Dre McCrae's job. Okay? She needs to focus on her kids, focus on getting to a better place. She is taking care of her husband. None of us really know what's going on with Marvon. So the point is that because she's been cleared, it's time for everyone to move on. It's unfortunate. Maybe there should have been more of a thorough investigation, but I feel like no matter how much investigative reporting or no matter how much investigating they would have done, I still don't think that ultimately all that fall has to be on her because of an unfortunate, tragic decision that Marvon made. Because let's be real, whenever people make that type of decision, we never know. I mean, I know that I've been to that point. And that's another topic for a different day. But because I know how that feels, it's one of those feelings where you feel like the world is better off without you, your family, everything, and it's obvious that anybody who gets to that point where they feel that there is no way out needed serious psychiatric attention. And like I said, the whole thing is unfortunate, and I pray still for Marvon, and for Dre and her children, and for Miss Letitia and for Ms. Wynette. I pray for them all, that they all come together. But the point is that when you have somebody like Mega Mouth involved, she's been the one that I feel has caused the most division, even in that family. That's just my opinion. He's a grown adult that allowed his wife to rule the household. In my opinion, he went along with it. That's what I'm saying. And even if you guys watch Paris Milan, when she first talked about this story, and like I said, I've learned something from this story. And what I've learned from this story is I don't want to talk about a story. Okay, if I'm going to talk about true crime every Thursday, it's going to be when it's a case, when there is an investigation involved, and we know that for certain. Okay, I'm going by factual information. When it's a story, all it is speculation, accusations, and it's never true. Now, don't get me wrong. When we talk about true crime as creators, and we all come on here, we give our opinions, we speculate, but we're still speculating on a case, not a story. And there's a difference. And I learned that between the two. When it's just a story, I'm staying away from it. When it becomes a case and it is officially announced that there is a person that's going to be investigated, then that's when I will talk about it. But I'm not going to talk about a story that's all of it, based on speculations, accusations, and lies. Thank you, child of God. I'm not going to talk about that. That's ridiculous. You live and you learn and you make mistakes. You do. And now I look at it like we've all critiqued everything that we saw, the videos that we saw on the internet. But once there was no more information out, we all critiqued and we moved on. And the people who haven't moved on are the people that continue to exploit this story for money. Because they're greedy and that's all they care about is filling their fucking pockets. Period. I was a bit fuming. I had to go de-escalate myself. Plus, I have seizures too. They feel like they are a burden to their own family. It's sad. Exactly. When I think about Twitch, and there are so many people now that are talking about there's more to the story with Twitch. May God rest his soul, that there's more to the story with him and that he possibly may have committed S. And it's like, can you imagine how his family is hurting right now? You know what I'm saying? And that's where I take ownership. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. My apologies have always been with Dre, as far as I don't apologize for my opinions and the way that I feel, but I do apologize is that I was one of those creators that were critiquing her right along with so many others, and all of that shit just piling on when you have the ultimate evil witch that is dissecting her life, dissecting her parenting, dissecting it, breaking it down, and using everything against her. Everything. And trying to slander her. She doesn't deserve it. She just doesn't. That's just my opinion. I feel like, okay, as a content creator and being a bigger content creator, as far as a beauty influencer, it comes with the territory. People are going to talk. I know that. And if you don't want people talking about you, then you better not be a content creator. It is what it is, especially when you're public with your life. People are going to talk about you. You're not going to ever satisfy everyone. It doesn't work like that. Everyone's always going to have a problem with something that you do. Always. But it is important to know that no matter what, there has to be an end game. You talk about something, there's no more information, so you move on. And all they have been doing is making up shit. Okay, where are the attorneys at this point? Where are they? This is the perfect example of how evil this woman is. She cares about nobody but herself and her own pockets, and it has to stop. At some point, it has to stop. When does it stop? How can YouTube continuously let these type of creators get away with this? That's my problem. YouTube, they oppress as if Black people aren't oppressed enough in this world. They oppress Black creators here on YouTube. Okay. They can get away with taking away views. They're doing nothing about it. Okay. Taking away subscribers, all of the things that they do. But yet the creators that this happens to and the creators that it affects try to follow all the rules on YouTube. They might not follow the guidelines sometimes. And then you have people like her who exploit victims' families, constantly talking about doxing people, all of these things that she does. And yet she's still here and can still continuously do this. And all it's going to take is something bad happening before YouTube does something, when something should be done before something bad happens. Did you watch full videos, Rita? Because I saw edited clips. Dre and Vaughn deserve the truth being spread. as much as the lies were spread. I agree. It's a shame the focus couldn't have been on noticing signs or sharing information about where help could be for people feeling exactly, rather than family dysfunction and goal creators. She's greedy, right, Tia? They just keep milking it. They are still trying to milk it. But how much long? Like, there's nothing more. We don't know. I finally had come to the conclusion, even when people would ask me, people would email me, do you know how, because people really do care about Marvon. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know how Marvon is doing? And all I could say is, no matter what people put out there, the only person that truly knows how Marvon is doing is Dre. And Dre is not talking to anybody. And as I've said before, a month ago, I commend that woman for being able to keep silent for as long as she has. Because if that was me, we don't even want to talk about if that was me. Because I feel like that takes a lot of self-control, you guys. Yes, people talk about me and I'll ignore it, and that's just because those people are irrelevant to me. But when somebody picks away at your life like that and makes up so many horrible things and slanders you, that has to be hard to contain yourself. As a viewer who has my heart invested for the victims, it's so hard to move on because it's so heartbreaking to see so many people lose their lives. Watched Dre and Vaughn for so many years. So did I, Nicole. I did. And it is hard because, obviously Marvon was an amazing, wonderful person. You know what I'm saying? Just from watching him, he just seemed like he was a great provider, wanted nothing but the best for his family. He supported his wife. He loved his wife, her dreams, her goals. He helped her achieve a lot of her goals. He was a part of a lot of the things that she wanted to do. And he supported every aspect of his wife's life, and he loved his kids. And it's very, very sad, that he's gone. And I pray that I don't think he's gone. We don't know. We don't know anything, but I'm pretty sure that he's still fighting for his life. And I always pray that a miracle will happen. And I still do. It's very sad, how this whole thing happened. But at the end of the day, all we can do is hope and pray for the best. They call Molly the Lion Lady, and I'm here for it. Yeah, she's just probably one of the most horrible creators that I have seen here on this platform. And you guys, I've been on this platform for 3 years. I don't think I've seen anybody worse than her. And, Bullhorn Betty, all of them. Like, they literally have no soul. Like, I understand talking about a case and putting out information about the case, but they just take it so far for views, for clicks and views and money. And it's like, at what point do you say enough's enough? At what point does your integrity come in? Like, your integrity shouldn't have never left. That's what I don't get. It wouldn't surprise me if they create a new story to keep the gravy train going. But that's what they've been doing, Salty. That's what they've been doing this whole time. They've been literally, even when there was no information, everybody moves on. Everybody just like, okay, we wish Dre the best. We hope everything works out for the best. We hope everything works out with the kids, everything. And everybody moves on. They were still making up rumors. And then you have fake articles saying this and that, when there was never no articles out there. But all of a sudden, this article comes out and gives this information about Marvon in the family. And then you have her going to visit Marvon Sr. and doing an interview with him. Like, they've never stopped. It just keeps going and going and going. And I feel like it comes a point where it's very, very apparent that she is grasping for straws and holding on to this case for as long as she possibly can, because this is the family that chose to work with her and they made money. So because of that, they're going to continue to they know that people that watch them are very, very invested in this story. and want to know how Vaughn's doing and want to know what's going on. Okay. And they're playing on their supporters' emotions as well. Ahmad told me that EKC wrote the article for Molly. That's crazy. If that's true, that is. But she went too far with down the rabbit hole. You know, went down the rabbit hole, did absolutely nothing to EKC. Nothing. We don't know if she made up the article. The article just all of a sudden disappeared. First they were talking about it, then they weren't talking about it. It was like Tia, when Tamale went to see the dad, she knew about that news and never asked him anything about it. And when I asked why she didn't, she said she didn't want to bring it up. I found it very sus. Of course, everything is sus about that woman. You have to question everything that she does. There's, you know, she has an agenda, and everything she does has a motive behind it. You know what I'm saying? And everything she doesn't do, there's a reason why she doesn't do that. Like, just like Down the Rabbit Hole said, she's known about Dre McCrae being cleared since November. But has said nothing. Nothing. How shady can you possibly be? How shady does it get with, oh my God. They have money still coming in, and they will milk it until it runs dry. And that's why I say, I hope and pray that something is being done about this. I seriously think that sometimes silence speaks for itself, and you never know. There's a reason why Dre could be why she's being silent, you know, and you just never know. You never know. There could have been an attorney that reached out to her and said, hey, you have a case here, and I will seriously represent you. And when you get paid, that's when you can pay me. You just never know. And I hope that's what happened. I really, really do. I pray, because somebody needs to show that woman that she cannot just hurt people like this and get away with it. Molly could never stay silent, not even for a day. No, you are absolutely right, Commander. I didn't personally ask. Someone asked, and she said she didn't know how to bring it up. If you're helping the family, you need to know the information, right? I agree. Yep. Hey, it happens, right? Aesop, like, you just never know. Like, that's something that I'm hopeful with. I seriously, someone needs to make an example out of her. I seriously hope that an attorney reached out to her and said, hey, you have a case here. Stay quiet, because there is something that you can do about this, and I'm going to represent you, and you don't have to worry about paying me, because guess what? When you get paid, that's when I get paid. I really, really hope so. I really pray. And it's not because I can't stand this woman and what a horrible person, an evil person she is. It's not just because of that. It's because there are boundaries that should not be crossed. We're human beings here, and you are messing with someone's life. And you have no type of soul to understand how much you have affected this woman's life. Talking about a story, critiquing a story is completely different than dissecting it and slandering somebody and continuously doing it over and over and over and over again, and never stopping, never giving this woman a break, just constantly going on and on and on. Like I said, there has to be an end game. There's no end game with them. Hi, y'all. I'm sorry for missing most of the stream, but I had to take some time for my family, and my depression is going full force lately. So I'm back on meds. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Fatima. If you ever need to talk, you can email me. But I am glad to hear that you're feeling better and that you are taking time for yourself, because that's what's important, in your family. I love this chat. All good points. Yeah, you guys have all great points. I'm loving your comments. Thank you guys for commenting, for participating, and giving your opinion. I was not a fan of Dre, but when Molly showed that video of the police telling Dre that Vaughn had a pulse and the reaction came from Dre, I felt so sad for her. Exactly. Exactly. And you don't have to be a fan, of Dre to feel bad for her, to feel bad for what she's enduring right now. And there's just no way that I could ever play that video. I'm not going to be the person to play that video. I think it's wrong. And it just shows how evil that woman is. I'm not going to do it. Humana, yes, she did, and I was hurt so bad. I had to get off that so I wouldn't stress because I have grand mal seizures. Aw. Yeah, I was waiting for this live. It's good. It's a good chat. To thank you for sharing. I thank you guys so much for being here. Like, I appreciate you guys for being here. It means a lot to me. I need somebody because, like I said, I do have a Facebook group for the members, but I do need somebody to message me about the Discord because I am going to make a Discord. So anybody who knows how to set it up, please message me. All of my social media platforms are in my description, in the description of my channel. So somebody get a hold of me if you are familiar with Discord. Melody, that's just awful and mean. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Hold on. I can't understand how people still support her after watching how she treats people right before their eyes. They're blind and brainwashed. Hold on, I didn't see what happened. What else happened? Hold on, I didn't read Melanie's comment. When Justin asked who I was, when I said my opinion, she says to Justin that that's the girl with the little boy with a disability in a rude way. She is disgusting. So now that's how you describe... You know what? That just shows how ignorant she is, Melody. And I'm happy that you see her for who she truly is. And she's a horrible person. She really is. She looks down on so many people. And she uses her son as the example of the perfect son and, how he does no wrong. And I'm not sitting here saying anything about anybody's kids because I don't do that. But what I will say is you don't talk about other people's kids and describe other people's kids in that way. And because you walk around here trying to act like your son is so perfect, don't be surprised if that blows up in your face one day too. Because nobody's perfect, for one. And for two, it doesn't give you the right to look down on others. It just, that's just disgusting. I'm sorry you had to go through that, Melody. She didn't raise him. That's what I heard, Ashley. That's what I heard, and I'm sure that you're right. I can only imagine how you felt. I felt like crying right now when you told me love and hugs. You're a blessing to your child and angel. You stay strong and blessed, babe. Amen. Amen. Don't ever listen to her. She's a horrible person. She has no soul. She has no heart. She has no compassion. She has no remorse. And it's like you brag about it. You're proud of it. How could you be proud to be a horrible person? I'll never understand that. I'll never understand that. Okay, so let's hear a little bit more of what Rabbit has to say. Oops.
Again, just absolute false allegations, accusations, all for them to make some money. And let's keep it real. She only made $18K off of AdSense and super chats in the month of July. $18K in 1 month. That does not include her memberships. It did not include all her Patreon she was getting because they thought inside of Patreon they were getting an inside scoop. That doesn't include that. It also doesn't include what she made in August, what she made in September. She just stopped talking about it when she herself literally claimed that he was dead based off of a false article that they wrote, and she lied over and over. First, she starts out by saying Letitia knew. Then on the next video, it's Letitia didn't know. Now she's canceling her vacation and turning back around. She started that entire lie. Nobody else
that man dead.
it.
She wanted that man dead because I think it would, and I'm just going to say it, Molly Golightly and her camp wanted Marvon McCray dead because it would aid to the narrative that they have been painting. Even if the police report found no wrongdoing, having had Marvon McCray pass away, it would have helped aid to this idea to villainize Dre. That's what it. So they concocted. And I'm going to say it. There was an article that was written, and I spoke to Nonsense. Nanya, you and I talked as well. All of this was like, this is weird, especially the people behind it. And I'm not going to give that Dick Ryder any clout, so I'm not going to say her name. But I'm just saying, I found it to be very suspicious, the way in which this article, and then it turns out, and then immediately when we said, well, we think that it's coming from this camp, immediately everybody got on the defense, and I didn't do it, and we don't know, and
it's funny how that certain person, when that article came out, everybody, especially that person, was going around defending that article. I still have that comment till this day, where basically that person accusing me of being a spokesperson for Miss Letitia and all this kind of stuff. It's like, girl, bye. Make it make sense. It's like you, and I agree with Down the Rabbit Hole with what she's saying here. They wanted to make up that lie. They wanted for Marvon McCray to be ultimately gone and unalived, because then guess what? It's another story for them to drag on. The things that the evil things that they talk about behind the scenes, they better hope and pray that nobody in their circle sings like a canary one day, starts their own channel and starts singing like a canary on how evil they really are, especially behind the scenes. Because that's all it is. You made so much money off of this particular story. And then, now, mind you guys, this is a story, not a case. They made so much money off of slandering Dre McCrae, dragging Dre McCrae, bringing her children into it, critiquing her, everything about her life, not even critiquing, criticizing, talking about her, slandering her. It's not even criticizing. It is literally straight up slander. Her parenting, her as a wife, going back into talking to her ex-husband, all these things, okay? All of these things that they've done thus far, they made so much money off of doing these things that they became obsessed. Obsessed with this story, obsessed with the family, and most importantly, obsessed with Dre. She spoke it before the article came out. The article had been written to give her a source other than her own words. Right. So Molly made up the article of Vaughn passing away. Yes, she did. We don't know anything about Marvon's current condition. Nobody does. Nobody does. The only people who know is possibly Miss Letitia, but the only person who knows anything about her husband is Dre McCrae. And until she talks about that publicly, nobody knows. Or unless there's some type of proof that somebody was in contact with her and knows everything that's going on with Marvon right now, nobody knows his current condition. So nobody can comment on that. That article was a lie. That article was made up, which is the reason why it was only up for a few hours and then it was taken down because people were on to her. People were like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. Then that's when they took it down. And why is EKC beside herself that Nonsense read the report, now accusing Nonsense of exploiting Vaughn? So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. Megamouth can show the cam footage of this woman in her most vulnerable state of finding her husband. Okay? But yet, Nonsense can't read the police report. Make that shit make sense. Okay. I'll be waiting for you to make that shit make sense. Why is it okay for, and I could play the police report and read it to y'all all day long. There's nothing wrong with reading a police report, but showing that woman in the vulnerable state that she was in from the police cam footage, I have a problem with that. So much to a point where I wouldn't play it on my channel. My channel. Well, I'm surprised my computer has held up this long. So therefore, why is it okay for Megamouth to do it? And critique this woman and say how she looks and shows no remorse. That's okay though, right? Yeah, keep sucking her ass, okay? It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not.
What is it? SB13 NBC wrote it. I said, you guys wanted this man dead because it would have aided to the narrative that Dre McCrae did something, even if the police report wasn't to your favor. Period. I've made that assessment. I'm not going to fucking say allegedly. I say what I said.
Yep. And that was the way for her to go and pick up a new story so that she can go and find another story to exploit and another family to take and drag through the mud while she claimed to be helping them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that nobody would ask any questions about what happened here and why this never lined up and why that never happened.
No. Expect her. Listen, I don't have to be live for 5 hours. Expect her to be live for 5 hours. Expect Justin, expect the other ones to be live. And, well, what about what Katie Joy did? And I'm like, I don't give a shit about Katie Joy. I'm not a fan of Katie Joy. I don't care. I was hashtag team no one when it came to this shit because I saw how everybody was moving. That's kind of where I stayed at.
And I can tell you right now that I came to a point where I stopped critiquing Dre McCrae in the past videos and things like that, a lot of creators critiqued and, found that was wrong. A lot of the things that she was doing in our opinion, but I stopped doing that to talk about Without a Crystal Ball's coverage on this case, all her lies and fabrications and all of the things that she had done. Okay, because she's no different. However, I can tell you right now, do you still hear Without a Crystal Ball talking about this case? No, you don't. The only people who keep lying and talking about it over and over and over again is Tamale and Justice for All and their team. They're the ones who keep perpetuating nonsense and bullshit. It's for money. Without a Crystal Ball ain't talking about this no more. So you don't get to bring up Without a Crystal Ball and the shit that she's done. We all know what she did. She was right along with y'all. Okay? But now you don't see her still talking about this case. And this is not me defending her because she definitely is a part of why so much things were being spread about Dre McCrae. But at the end of the day, she's not talking about it no more. It's only them because they've made so much money and they're so greedy. They're obsessed. Megamouth makes KJ look decent. She does. So you can sit there and try to talk about without a crystal ball and bring her back up and bring her into this. It's not going to work. She's not talking about this case anymore or this story. Y'all are the ones that continuously talk about it constantly and make up bullshit over and over and over again. MGL collected this money to fill her face and lips, right, Melanie? Okay, couple more minutes of this, and then we will wrap this up. And then probably tomorrow I will do an open panel. So let me see here.
I don't care. I don't care. And then people, it was like everybody wanted to drag people into this drama. And I said, I'm not trying to be involved in that shit. It's not about you or about me. It's about what is fact. What's fact? There was no
break the
video.
silence. Actually, you can find. I don't know if I'm okay to say, but the Missing Puzzle Pieces has the actual full videos. You can find them here on YouTube. And yes, and actually, it mentions it in the police report. The children were not given.
They were not given.
They were not given the K. It says in the police report what was found was that they were given the passion flower, and they discussed that as well. In the police report, it is in there that they were not found to be given that. So no, that was yet again another manufactured lie from the heavily edited. I cannot stress enough that the police report says they found the videos to be heavily edited.
Yeah.
Not just edited.
Heavily
edited. That means you literally, it would be like me taking 5 words that Rabbit says and putting them into a sentence to make it look like what I want it to look like.
Yeah. Jenzer says she'll gladly help with her. I mean, I'm sure, I don't even know, and I would prefer not to know where her status is at, but I hope that this report is going to be used to assist in any type of lawsuit. It might even include YouTube because of this bullshit that you can't just be doing this shit to people. What they did to this woman was horrendous, and they still keep doing it to people. It's horrendous. It really is.
And I just want to point something out, because just, for the haters in the bushes, I want to point something out to you. While you sit and watch Molly's live tonight, ask yourself, why did Molly need to speed home tonight to play the videos that she's playing? Why? If she had these videos this whole time, right? Why not show them before now?
Right.
If she had this police report, and truly, let's talk about it. The only thing she's showing you right now is the body cam. Why? Why would you want to see? Why would anybody want to watch the body cam of a man who, again, was attempting to end his mental exhaustion? Why?
Why isn't she reading the police report? This one right here that basically says says there's not enough evidence to say that this woman hurt her husband or that she's hurting her kids, that she led. Why is this is a distraction, and she's going to do this for the next, I don't know how many hours. Listen, you do not have to subscribe to my channel. You do not have to like me. That's not what the fuck I'm asking. I don't care. Hold her accountable and ask her, why didn't you talk about this report? Why don't you talk about this report?
So Mickey she's saying that Dre got the perfect cop. So here's the thing, Mickey, though. There are multiple police statements. There is not only, so the very last page, Rabbit, where it says the investigation is concluded. On that very last page, it says they collected medical records and information from the NCIS. So you're telling me the NCIS is also going to lie for Dre? Come on now.
Yeah. So how do you know that the police lied for Dre anyways? How would you even determine that? Are they going to interview a dirty cop at this point? Is that what their plan is to do?
Okay, so how do you get to sit here and speculate that the police lied for Dre? You see, that's the thing here. Oh my gosh. You don't know what the police lied about. And this is a good point, Gumby. Anybody who points out something that pretty much holds her accountable for her shit in her chat will be blocked. But I'll tell you what's wrong with you people who watch her. You're so fucking small-minded. Okay? Use your own brain for once. And this is for anybody who goes off of someone's word when there's nothing but documented evidence out there that proves, okay, in her own words, the things that she has said in the past. Do your research. Type in her name, Mega Mouse name, Dre McCrae. She's done so many videos, and it's not because she can private as many videos as she wants. There is proof out there. All you have to do is look. Pay attention to the things that she doesn't say. And you're sitting there and you're probably wondering, wait, I wonder how come she didn't mention this, or why didn't she ask Mr. Marvon Sr. that? Instead of sitting there making excuses for her, how about hold her accountable? But you're right, Gumby. You hold her accountable, and what happens? You're just going to get blocked, because that's what she does. Hey, Rachel. Welcome, sweetheart. Thanks for stopping by. She also collects money from meet and greets when nobody shows but her. Justin Mallory, and she thinks she's famous. No, not even close. There's multiple agencies involved. To believe they conspire together is ridiculous. Exactly. That doesn't make any sense. The point is that she's only going to show what she wants to. You want to show this cam footage, but yet you don't want to talk about the police report. Wouldn't, like, that's just common sense. Molly and Justin and Elle choose to keep this going, and now look, it has gone too far. Molly, John does Elle, leave this family alone and out of your mouths. Okay, so just to wrap this up, and I obviously down the rabbit hole, thank you. You're amazing. I love how you keep it real. You already know. So thank you for reading that police report. I appreciate that very, very much. So what I wanted to ask you guys is Elle still... I thought Elle was not going to talk about this anymore, because after the article had came out and she had talked about the article, she had said that she really was not going to talk about this anymore and that she made a mistake. I actually have a video where I read everything that she had said, and she said that she was pretty much done saying too much, you know, so I thought that she was done. So Elle is still talking about this. That is very disappointing. And I'll tell you why. Because I like Elle. I like LB. I always have. I don't understand why she won't, like... Nope, she played the cam footage. Yes, she has been live since the body cam came out. LB showed the same video Molly did the last 2 nights. I didn't watch Elle, but she did do a live with the footage. Okay. Anybody who showed that live footage, I'm sorry, but I cannot have any respect for that. I'm sorry. I don't care how much you don't like that woman. I don't care how much you've been talking about this case. That is too personal, in my opinion. This is not a case. She's been cleared. Now, it'd be different if it was a case and she wasn't cleared. But because she's been cleared, and because there's a police report out there that nobody from their side is reading, I think it's disgusting. Sorry. I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Where could I find the original police report, please? I don't know how to sleuth, but I do watch a lot of videos from Elle and others, also on Vaughn, and I am shook. Okay, the police reports. I just played the police report down the rabbit hole, read it out. That's the full police report. She read the entire thing. I'm pretty sure she did. I don't know, Phoenix. It's crazy to me, Phoenix. And it is an S, which makes it even worse. Exactly. I just feel like that's too personal. It'd be, like I said, it'd be different if this was a case and, you know what I'm saying, they're doing some investigating and, you know, they're taking it to the next step. Okay. But there's nothing to this anymore. She has been cleared. That's why Megamouth isn't fucking talking about it, because it's been cleared. So she's been cleared. And you keep perpetuating and you keep going on and on for the sake of your pockets. And I think it's absolutely disgusting. There's no way I will go back and watch that. I would never watch something like that. I don't want to see it. You're welcome, Nicole. Thank you. Yeah, all you have to do is go back, or you can go to Down the Rabbit Hole's channel, and she read the whole police report. See, honey, never apologize for speaking your mind. No one deserves respect if they play or played that body cam footage. Thank you, Earth. I like Elle. I've been watching Elle for a long time, you guys, but I'm just very disappointed. And not that it matters, you know, not that it matters what I think. I don't think she cares what I think, but that's just my opinion. I think it's disgusting. And I do think I'm sorry. I have no respect for anybody who plays that footage on their channel, period. But she also edited out of respect. She said she edited things out. I don't care. I don't think anything I don't think that footage should be played, period. Okay. It's a very disappointing thing. I'm not saying that I can't stand her, anything like that. I'm just saying it's wrong. And I feel like I would expect more from her. I would expect for her not to play something like that, especially because Dre has been cleared and it's time to move on from this. And all that is doing the same exact thing as they're doing. Regardless of what she edited out, that would be very hypocritical for me to sit here and talk about Megamouth and Justice for All doing something like that, but then exclude her. You know what I mean? Maybe she didn't. I will give her the benefit of the doubt and say maybe she didn't see the 911, but I don't see how she wouldn't. I don't know why Elle has to go live about every single thing she covers. My phone is constantly going off with live notifications from her. She used to just do video uploads. Yeah. I don't know if she read the police report. I can give her the benefit of the doubt on that. She may not have read the police report, like I said, but I'm just saying if you showed that body cam footage, that's disgusting to me. Like, I couldn't even watch that. I don't even think the Chisme Report played the whole thing. He played a little bit of it, but even the little bit that he played, I'm like, I'm not gonna, no. Tia did, yes. Yeah. Anybody who lets their kid get life coached by that evil, dictating piece of crap seriously needs therapy, in my opinion. It's Vaughn's last day as people knew him, and he's still here in body, at least, which it adds to the morbid and heavy feeling with it. Without seeing Dre in very distressed and tragic time. Exactly. Like I said, if for some reason, like I said, if it was being investigated and she wasn't cleared and, you know, we're trying to search for information, I can't say that there's anything wrong with playing that footage. But because she has been cleared, it's time to move on from this. And when that article came out, I do distinctly remember, now I would have to go back and I could give her the benefit of the doubt as far as not reading the police report, but I don't see how, okay. But I just remember when she had talked about the article, because she talked about the article too. She jumped on that pretty fast. and put it out there. And then she retracted it and apologized. And I remember in that apology, she said, you know, that she wasn't going to jump on anything too quick anymore and things like that. So I wasn't sure if she was even still involved with them when it comes to this case, this story. I mean, I wouldn't let her be my life coach, for goodness sakes. Exactly. She don't need a life coach for an adult, let alone a child. I mean, there's really not too much that you can edit out of that. At some point, your morals and integrity have to come into play. And I don't feel that it matters how much you edit it out. I just don't feel like it should have been shown. That's why the clips I put black screen over the footage out of respect before I upload it. Put something, like something over her, because it's just too sad to watch. I just don't feel like that should be played at this point when she's been cleared, you know, and I feel like there's nothing left to talk about. This is being dragged on for a reason, and it's being dragged on for money, clicks and views. That's it. The footage wouldn't have been released without the investigation being completed. If so, they would have known about the report. I can agree with I just think that, first of all, somebody requested the footage, right? So it wasn't put out there. This is not a case. Remember, you guys, this is a story. It's never went mainstream media. It's never been it's all been talked about by creators on social media platforms. That's it. So somebody requested to get that police cam footage. Okay. They requested to get the police cam footage. Had they not requested it, it wouldn't be out there. Right? So, in my opinion, because they requested to get that cam footage, why is she not talking about the police report itself that's been out since November? And then you're playing the police cam footage. Regardless of anything, in my opinion, I do not feel that that should have been shown on any platform, period. I was hoping LB took that live down. She didn't. But how much, I mean, I'm just saying, how much more does that have to happen before you kind of look at things for what they are? Like I said, maybe she didn't read the police report. I have no idea. But what I do know is she still played the cam footage. And in my opinion, even when she jumps on that article and talked about it, you have to learn from that. Okay, you learn from that, and then you try not to make that same mistake twice. And even though this is cam footage, that cam footage was requested by Megamouth and Goose, whoever. They brought this cam footage out there. It wasn't put out there. They're the ones who brought it. It's not going to be put out there because nobody's talking about this anymore. I liked her also. I never seen her as a tragedy pimp. I could be wrong. I don't know if we would go as far as that. Like I said, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to show people grace. But in the same sense, at some point, you have to be able to see things clearly on your own. And if I was able to see things clearly and I wasn't even friends with that woman. I was cordial with her. And when I seen that she was lying, I called it out. It's very hard for me to believe that people who are standing next to her can't see the things that she's doing, and the things that Justice for All is doing. And I do think that, is it easier to go and, is it easier as a creator to go with someone who's a bigger creator than you and get the clicks and the views? And is that easier? Yes, it's easier to align yourself with someone because you don't want that person to turn against you, because obviously look what happened when she turned against me. But I don't give a fuck. YouTube is not my whole life. Okay. And I am not selling my soul for anybody, period. I'm not selling my soul for clicks and views. I will do it my way, period. And I feel like for some people, it's harder for them to do that because they don't want to go against someone where they feel like can ultimately hurt their clicks and views, can ultimately hurt their subscriber count. It's to each their own. It's to each their own. I kept asking why Molly stopped talking about the report a long time ago. She probably already knew the results. Exactly. Exactly, Commander. Orange Boy Jaundice gets no respect for that 3 a.m. live stream he did, saying Dre was cleared. He did a 3 a.m. live stream? Thank you, Asher's mama. Yeah, it's easier to, it would have been easier for me to ignore the fact that she was going around saying a police report was fake, but there's just no way that I could do that. I owe more to my subscribers than that. My subscribers deserve to know the truth. My supporters deserve to know the truth. And for some people, they just don't want to do that, and is it easier though to just keep your mouth shut? Yes, it is. And for some people, everybody's different. And sometimes you have to look at it that way. Everybody's different. Not everybody's going to think like me. And I understand that. But in the same sense, at some point, you can still quietly walk away. You don't have to call out or anything on anything, but then people are still going to look at you sideways when you're walking away quietly and you know the things that's happened, right? I can't believe she was cleared. So disheartening. It is. It is. Check out Tragedy Pimps Exposed. I absolutely will, Earth. What pisses me off was he still said allegedly. That's what I'm saying. So what was in his 3 a.m. live? So yeah, I watched Molly's live about the video. Man, Molly is loud and yells. I was like, wow, she went too far on this one. She did real far, Lavina. Too far. At some point, you got to know when to stop. And like I said, all she's doing is making people more empathetic towards Dre. So let her keep talking, but I don't think it's right. She's opening people's eyes more. And I'm glad people are starting to see it. I'm glad people are starting to see her for who she is. He said Dre was allegedly cleared. No, she has not been cleared. Allegedly? What do you mean? What do you mean allegedly? She's been cleared. There's no allegedly, Justin. She has been cleared. Y'all are sick. Fucking sick. There's no allegedly. Yeah, they like to put in those sly words in there. So we will continue talking about this tomorrow. And also I will be doing commentary on somebody else who made some very racist comments, and that live was sent to me, and I would like to address some of the things that were said. So we will be talking about that tomorrow. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming and listening to what I have to say. It's good to see a lot of you guys. She was cleared. Melanie, she was cleared. So did the Chisme Report, and I just played his video. So if you're just coming in, make sure you watch from the beginning. But when Dre does come back, her fan base will double what it was before them, and jail will be very pissed. And that's what I say too. Thank you for being here, Earth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's what I will say too. And you're right, Aesop. She's been jealous of Dre from the very beginning. Dre has this vibrant, charismatic personality. She can slay some makeup. She's talented, and she's all the things that Megamouth would never be. So of course, I do feel that once Dre breaks her silence and she does tell her story, oh, absolutely. I can't imagine if she goes live or she does a video, how high her views will be. All they're doing is making her more well-known than she already is, and you never know. You could be making her so well-known that the people who watch you might turn against you and go watch her and forget all the fuck about you and feel bad for her. You're doing nothing but you're making people's eyes open to the fact that the things that you have done thus far are questionable. MJ was pissed because Olivia has more subs than her now. Good. Even though I don't care for Olivia, she's very pretty and she is an awesome content creator. You can't take that away from her. She's a very talented content creator. But thank you to my amazing mods. You guys are amazing. Thank you to my chat. Thank you guys all for being here, for interacting, giving your opinions. Please don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. It helps with the algorithm and it helps more people view this video. And we want people to see this video. And to the people who choose to support Molly and Justice for All and all of them people who do the evil things, open your eyes, do your research, quit being lazy, trust and believe the majority of the things that she's doing is all of the things that she's doing is all for the sake of money in her pockets. That's it. She is exploiting a family and enough is enough. Okay. Remember how beautiful you are inside and out. Make sure you give somebody a compliment when you see them tomorrow or tonight, whatever. You never know how much you can change their entire day. And remember how amazing you are. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my glam fam. Anybody who knows anything about Discord, don't forget to email me and reach out to me because I know nothing about Discord, but I do think Discord will be a lot more interactive for us than Facebook. I'm just never on Facebook that much, but I do like Discord. So if you know something about Discord, please message me, and anybody who's a part of the Glam Fam, you will be in the Discord once I make it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm very, very blessed. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. All replay watchers, make sure you comment down below and let me know what you think about this entire situation. I would love to hear your opinion. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully everything is okay. I will be taking my computer in. What's wrong with this thing? Oops. Oh. Hopefully everything will be fine and I'll be able to go live tomorrow as well. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Deuces. Love y'all. Deuces.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I speak.